your hands together for Daniel Tirado!
All right, that's enough. Let's cut the bullshit. I'm happy to be here. Montreal's nice. I just came back from Colombia, so that was amazing. Have you guys been there before? No, there's no joke there, but thank you. It's crazy, man. What a culture shock Colombia was. You know, I didn't know if it was dangerous or not. I asked the concierge at the hotel, I was like, is this place safe? He's like, super safe, man. It's super, super safe. The only thing, if you have a chain, just don't go out with the chain. If you got a watch, don't go out with your watch. You know, if you got some cash, you leave the cash in the hotel. If you got a cell phone, you leave the cell phone with the cash in the safe in the hotel. Oh, that's nice shoes. Don't take out those shoes, man. If you gotta go kidney, you don't take out the kidney, okay? If you gotta go liver, go pancreas, stay back, okay? But besides that, super, super safe. So my name's Daniel. I'm married, got 2 kids. Thank you. That's my profile on Tinder. We had a baby during the pandemic. We had a water birth. You guys know what that is? A water birth? Anyone? A water birth? Water birth, sir? It's when your baby comes out looking like Nirvana's album cover. If you don't get it, never mind. It was awesome, man. It was really cool. It was me, the doula, the midwife, and my full wife. Take your time with these jokes. Do you know what a doula is, sir? No, do you know anything? Doula is a birthing coach. She's a birth, so she would say things to my wife like, you could do this, you've done this before. You know, all the things I tell myself when I drive high. And she was really cool. She was like, hey, would you like me to play you some music? I was like, hell yeah, DJ Doula. And she played like this soothing rainforest sound. And it worked. Baby came out. I started crying. My wife started crying. And then the placenta came out. Yeah, and I stopped crying. And she said, hey, would you like to take the placenta home with you? I was like, you know what? We were thinking of taking the baby. Like, what do you want me to do with the placenta? And she said, you can eat the placenta. Yeah, it's very rich in vitamins. I'm like, okay. Or I could just take vitamins. She said, no, I'm not kidding. You could chop it into little pieces and throw it inside a smoothie. Yeah, I had the exact same reaction, because I was thinking more like fajitas, you know? Tacos, guacamole, cilantro. So now it's in the freezer. No, not the placenta, the baby. And I'm not gonna lie to you guys, I really want to taste it. I'm very curious. Not the baby, the placenta. I'm very curious, but I'm scared. I'm really scared. Like, what if I love placenta? Like, once I'm done eating the placenta, I need to find another placenta. I can't just walk into maternity ward and be like, hey, you done with that? That looks delicious. Be fun to have a barbecue, right? A couple of friends over. Hey, how would you like your placenta cooked? Medium, well done. They're like, nah, bro, I don't need placenta. I'll be like, bro, you gotta taste my wife's placenta. Her cooking sucks, but her placenta, mwah. How fun would it be to not even say anything, just to see the reaction? Interesting texture. Slam? No. Bison? Can this possibly be bison? Not even close. You're eating my wife. All right, that joke's not for everyone, but cannibals love it. I am of Polish and Peruvian descent. My wife is Japanese, Egyptian. Crazy, right? And we have 2 kids, and yeah, they look like reptilians. I'm I'm not kidding, man. I spilled some hot coffee on my son's hand, and he did not even flinch. I'm like, you okay, buddy? He's like, I'm fine, Papa. No, they're cute. They're cute. They're really cute. They're like next level cute, to be honest. I was in a restaurant. I was like sitting next to my son. A gorgeous waitress came up to us. She's like, oh my God, what a cutie. Tell him to give me a call in 20 years. I said, lady, 20 years from now, he's gonna look exactly like me. So why don't I just give you my number? And she laughed, I laughed. And I went back home and I processed what she said, and it's disturbing. But she got away with it, right? Because she's a woman. Yeah. Because you'll never see a guy go up to a baby girl and be like, hey, take me ring ding. It's creepy. I miss it when they're little babies. It's fun when they're babies. You can play a lot of pranks when you have a baby. My buddy Andy came over to my place and he was sexting this girl, and she sent him a picture of her chest. So the next move is for him to send a crotch shot, right? Not in my apartment. So I was like, yo, Andy, how awesome would it be if instead of sending her a picture of your crotch, we send her a picture of my baby's crotch? Then he texts her, just shaved. Not even hard yet. Which is a double shock because Andy's Haitian, so. We live in New York City. It is so expensive to have kids in New York. It's insane. Daycare is actually the cost of rent. So we're thinking next year, instead of putting our kid back in daycare, we'll just get him his own apartment. I would hate dropping off my son in daycare because I would always bump into this one very specific dad who's convinced his kid's a genius. A couple of weeks ago, in front of all the parents, he said, I just saw my 3-year-old to count up to 10 in Spanish. And why don't you go ahead, Kevin? And kid just like fired out. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Yes. And right on cue, my son sees me, gets excited, and goes, He's like, yeah, well, my son knows Morse code. I feel sorry for your stupid baby. Pero mi hijo es a genius. I didn't realize how amazing my dad was until I had kids. My dad would drive us to school every day for 10 years, every day. Sometimes I wake up in the morning, I'm like, you know what, guys? There's no school today. Yay, is it a holiday? I'm like, nah, Papa's depressed. I feel like an awful dad sometimes. I forgot to pack my daughter's lunch on the first day of pre-K. Teacher made me feel awful. She was like, you know, your daughter had no food today. I'm like, I know. She was intermittent fasting. I don't know what kind of losers you're teaching, but I'm training a warrior here. My mom's Polish, very religious. Never wore a crucifix, though. Never. I asked her about it. I said, hey, Ma, how come you never wore a cross? And she answered, did Jesus wear a cross? It's like, well, technically, the cross wore Jesus. Like, why would he wear what killed him? That's insane. That's like if you were dying of heart disease and you had a gold chain with a tiny pizza. It'd be weird. Isn't it weird when you see people with the gold chains and huge crosses on their chest? You know? Did you ever notice how, like, the bigger the cross is, the less religious the person really is? Like, if the cross is tiny, you think, I'm sure that person carries a pocket Bible. If it's the size of your chest, you're like, oh, I'm sure that person carries a gun. Like, the only people who wear huge crosses are gangsters and the Pope. Right? Pope's kind of gangster. Drives around in a bulletproof vehicle. He's got his crew. of cardinals and bishops. If you say the word Pope 10 times real fast, it sounds like gunshots, like pull, 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 pull. Thank you. Isn't it weird how Jesus goes by his neighborhood? You know, Jesus of Nazareth, kind of like Jenny from the block. A lot of people are thinking he's making a comeback, right? What do you guys think? Think there's a part 2? Jesus the Revenge? That'd be fun to see, because he'd have to try to fit in today's world. You know, he'd be posting pictures of his food on Instagram. Nothing too fancy, just like a loaf of bread. Hashtag my body. Hashtag wish we had butter. Hashtag who the hell invited Judas? He'd have a cell phone. That'd be fun to hear his voicemail. You've reached Jesus. I'm not available right now, but I'm always with you. If this is an emergency, please contact my dad. AKA your father. This is confusing, Jesus. I don't know. Welcome back, man. You missed a great part of the joke. Should I start over for you, or? I feel like I should. My mom is very religious. Never wore a crucifix. And I asked her about it. I said, hey, Ma, how come you never wore a cross? And she said, did Jesus wear a cross? It's like, well, technically... You don't deserve the rest. Great timing, great timing. I bought an apple at a grocery store, and this freak out of nowhere leans over my shoulder, cheek space, whispers to me, an apple a day keeps the doctor away. So I whispered back, I hope you're a doctor. It's a level of arrogance in New York, right? I was in a bar once, I just called out, hey, bartender. He said, it's mixologist. Like, I'm sorry, I guess the waiter doing coke in the bathroom's a pharmacologist. Visitors love New York. They always say the same thing. There's this incredible energy, man. There's this incredible energy. I'm like, yeah, it's called hate. It's incredible. It really chips away at your soul. You stop feeling things like a normal human being. I was riding the subway once, and a woman answered her phone, and she starts shaking. She bursts into tears, and she tells everyone, oh my God, I just found out that my husband filed for divorce. And I looked at her and I thought, how did you get reception? Like, we are in a tunnel. Who is your carrier? Because I had no bars. She had 3 bars. I was baffled. And out of nowhere, a man just stood up and gave her a hug. I was like, ew, that's how you catch bed bugs. It's fun. My wife and I, we started going out on dates again. And we went to this opening of a very pretentious art gallery in New York. And we were surrounded by filthy rich people. Filthy rich. And I noticed something. I noticed that truly wealthy people have like no concept of time. I asked a woman when she met her husband, and she said, it was some time between Prague and Milan. Okay, but when was that? It was before Dubai, but after Bucharest, yes. Was there a specific year? I don't recall the year, but I do remember climbing the hills of Machu Picchu and drinking the blood of a young child. And then she asked me when I met my wife, and I said, well, it was some time between Newark and Milwaukee. I don't recall the year, but I do remember having a coupon for 2 free cafes at a gas station. Yeah, we're no longer friends. So I'm walking in my neighborhood, right? And I bump into an old neighbor I haven't seen in a while, Steve. Creepy dude, but he has a beautiful tan. I said, Steve, you look great. Where'd you come from? He's like, I was in Thailand. It's like, oh, that's nice. Who'd you go with? He's like, I went by myself. I'm like, Steve, you're over 50 years old, and you went to Thailand by yourself? Stay the fuck away from my kids. It's like, nah, man, it was a quick getaway. I'm like, from who? The FBI? Like, why would he tell me that, right? Do you know what I mean? Like, it's not like Thailand is discreet about their child sexploitation. The capital is called Bangkok, and cock is spelled K-O-K. That's how a little kid would spell it. I don't even trust someone who tells me you went to Thailand for a meditation retreat, because they all come back with the same stupid line, like, I'm not really religious, you know, I'm like, more what you call a pedophile. I don't know, man. If you're over 40 and you go to Thailand on your own, just don't tell anyone. Just don't tell. We don't want to hear, like, lie to me, right? Tell me you went to one of the neighboring countries. Tell me you went to, like, Laos or Burma. But then again, who the fuck goes to Burma? I'll tell you who. People who don't want you to know they went to Thailand. That's who. My wife and I were so paranoid, you know? We interviewed like 10 babysitters. That's how paranoid we are. And we really liked this one guy called Jeff. And I said, Jeff, we love you, man. We'd love to work with you. I just have one last little question. Do you like pad thai? And he said, I love pad thai. And I said, get the fuck out of my house! Filthy animal. I feel like times are changing, man. Times are changing way too quickly. I can't keep up with it. It's even harder for my dad. My dad's, 80 years old and, very intelligent man. English is his fourth language. It's pretty awful, his English, but I go visit him and he, he's having a glass of scotch, he's reading newspaper, and he asks me, hey, what's this whole Legebeteke thing? I'm like, what? He's like, Legebeteke, it's everywhere. The newspaper, the internet, it's got rainbows. Do you mean LGBTQ? Legebeteke! And I laughed my ass off. Or as my dad would say, I lamao. He says, it's about the gays, huh? Like, yeah, partially, but what do you care? It's like, did you ever think about it? I'm like, think about what? And he said, I'm being with a man? And he said, yeah. Like, Dad, I'm married, 2 kids, come on. Maybe Ryan Gosling. And he's like, who's Ryan Gosling? It's a Canadian actor, blonde hair. Sometimes he bleaches it. Got a little smirk on his face. Doesn't say much, but that smirk says everything. I said, how about you, Dad? Did you ever think about it? Never! Really? Never. If someone put a gun to your head, he said, okay. And he really thought about it. And he said, Ellen DeGeneres. I'm like, that's a woman. He said, what? And that was such a genuine answer, right? From an 80-year-old Peruvian man. Because that's as far as he would go, a woman with a short haircut. Can't keep up. Can't keep up with these times, You gotta watch what you say, how you say it. My buddy Corey, he's Puerto Rican. He's like, yo, Danny, we can't say that we're Latino or Latina anymore. We have to say that we're Latin X, because it's more gender neutral. You guys heard about this? And it really hit me the first time I heard that, because that's when I realized how ahead of his time DMX was. She could have gone by DMO or DMA. But no, they chose DMX. Honorable mentions go to Malcolm X and FedEx. Things are moving fast, man. Too fast. Technology, we can't keep up with it. Do you remember when we used to get excited when we had unlimited texting? Do you remember when that was a thing? Like, whoa, I got unlimited text, man. There's no limit to my texting. And we take it for granted. You know, back in the medieval times, they had no text messaging. They had pigeon carriers. Like pigeons, you know, you would send off this bird to deliver your message. I don't know about you guys, but I can never trust a bird. Like, what if your message is urgent? Like, prepare cavalry, the kingdom is in danger. And you show up 3 weeks later and you're like, what the hell happened here? And your friend's like, well, the French planned a sneak attack, pillaged the whole village, killed the children, the women. You're like, whoa, 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 whoa. You didn't get my pigeon? I sent you a pigeon. Did you go over your pigeons? And it made me wonder, like, what if we never evolved to cell phones, right? Like, what if we were still using pigeon carriers today? We would all have different pigeon plans. Like, how crazy would it be to have unlimited pigeons, right? It's like a room full of pigeons. You'd be shooting these pigeons for every trivial message. OMG. WTF. Group messaging would be a nightmare, right? You'd have to pick up 10 pigeons, like, ah. How heart-wrenching would it be to break up with someone via pigeon, you know? Just walking down the street and out of nowhere, just a pigeon poos on your face and everyone would know. Check it out, dude just got dumped. I'm happy to be here, man. Really happy you guys came out. Thank you. Had a rough couple of weeks. My dad had surgery. They removed his gallbladder. And I got really scared, you know, because I'm already in my 40s and I don't know what a gallbladder is. I asked the doctor if it was dangerous, and he said he will undoubtedly overexert his pancreas. Of course. Would you mind reminding me, what does the word undoubtedly mean? And pancreas. I think my dad drinks too much. He's Peruvian. I don't want to stereotype, but I told him he should go to AA meetings, and his answer was, why should I go to Alcoholics Anonymous? Everybody knows I drink. I'm not anonymous. That kind of makes sense, Dad. People say the stupidest things, right, when they're drunk. I was in a bar once, and a woman drunk out of her mind came up to me. She said, hi, what's your sign? It's like, ew, I'm a stop sign. She said, haha, I'm a Scorpio, and Scorpios are always horny. It's like, well, my wife is a Scorpio, and you are lying. A long time ago, I was in a restaurant, and there's this old man sitting next to me, and he decided to send a drink to this anonymous lady across the bar. And we guys, we always think that's like a smooth and mysterious move, right? He even gave her the old George Clooney glass salute. That's a scenario you strictly see in a bar. You would never see that happen at an ice cream shop. You'll never see a guy go up to the ice cream man and say, hey, see that Chiquita standing by the waffle cones? Yeah, I want you to send her 2 scoops of pistachio. And then when she gets it, you get to give her one of these. God forbid it starts melting. Yeah, that's when she calls the cops, right? Before doing comedy, I used to be a substitute teacher. Of course, I would never tell people that. You know, it's very demeaning. I would just tell people I'm a teacher. I would substitute the word substitute for my pride. It's a word sub, you know? It really tarnishes a profession. Like if you have a brain tumor and you're in the operating room and in walks a dude who's like, hey, I'm your substitute doctor. Like, you know what, I'll take my chances with a tumor. Well, you know what, I got into comedy for silly reasons. I think when I was younger, I really wanted to be famous. I really just wanted, you know, women to run after me whenever they see me. I know, it's silly. But now that I'm older and wiser, I realize that I can achieve that exact same goal if I become a bus driver. I brag about it too, right? Friends would be, yo, man, last night at the bar, picked up 2 ladies. I'm like, oh, yeah, this morning I picked up 200. They even paid me to pick them up. Yeah, but did you get their phone numbers? I'm like, bruh, I know where they live. Is it me, or am I the only one that ever confuses Anne Frank with Helen Keller? Anyone? Anyone else? And then obviously the Diary of Anne Frank pops into my head, and I swiftly recall that Helen Keller was the first woman who flew across the Atlantic Ocean. That'd be a fun fight to see, right? Anne Frank versus Helen Keller. Because one was 14 years old, and the other one was a pilot that was blind, deaf, and mute. I would love to be on that flight just so I can hear an announcement. It would sound something like this. My buddy's like, yo, Danny, you can't tell that joke. You're gonna offend the blind, deaf, and mute. I'm like, don't worry, they'll never hear it. I had a woman come up to me after a show. She's like, excuse me, I think you meant Amelia Earhart. I was like, I think you missed the whole point of that joke. I've obviously offended the dumb. Married. I've been married for 13 years now. I've been married for 13 years. And it's weird. It's marriage, you know, is weird, you know? My wife bought us a pair of matching pajamas. You know, that's where we're at. Yeah, there goes our sex life. Yeah. And they're like shirts. She bought us like shirt pajamas, you know, the collar, the button down, the long sleeve. It's very business formal. As soon as we walk in the bedroom, we shake hands. First night, she said, ooh, you look good. I'm like, that's unprofessional. And it really kills a moment, these buttons, you know? It really does. You know, the other night, I was gonna smash her. And I was like, it won't be long. I'll be right with you. I'm halfway there. Got 2 more to go. Wake up. Marriage is weird when you think about it, like the act of marriage, because before getting married, you get a marriage license. And that's something no one will ever ask to see again. If you get in a fight with your spouse, you'll never have a cop knock on your door and go, marriage license and registration. 2 weeks later, your friend's like, yo, what happened to you and Linda? You're like, my marriage license got suspended. Had an MUI, was married under the influence. After getting married, you get a marriage certificate, which is awesome because now I don't need to take relationship advice from my single friends. Whenever they say you should listen to your wife a little more, I'm like, excuse me, are you certified? Because I have a diploma. I asked my wife, I said, we've been together for a while now, we have 2 kids. Would you ever leave me if I was unfaithful? And she said, absolutely. When we got married, you made a vow to be faithful. I said, I did. But you made a vow to be with me for better or worse. So aren't we in a predicament? And she said the scariest thing. She said, I would rather find out that you killed someone than find out that you cheated on me. That means if she caught me in bed with another woman, I'd have to be like, no, baby, it's not what you think. I was murdering her. And she would feel relief. I'm happy to be married. You know, I wouldn't be able to do the whole dating scene today. It's crazy. We can't even ask you ladies for your phone numbers. It's like an invasion of your privacy. What do you all say? Just find me on social media. Just find me. So much work. You have to find you on social media, to send you a friend request, I have to wait for you to accept my friend request. I gotta type you a message, you gotta type me back. I don't have time for all that. I have a wife, kid, and a baby. How long you been together? A year. It's crazy. My best friend just broke up with his girl from like a year relationship. And me being the best friend that I am, I try to make him feel better. You know, I was like, dude, don't worry about it. She was needy, she was obnoxious. You know, she had dragon breath, forget her. 2 weeks later, they decided to get back together. And not only that, he proposed and she said yes. So me being the best friend that I am, like, dude, that is amazing, man. I knew it. She had a special twinkle in her mouth, eyes. Because that's what best friends do, right? We lie to each other to make each other feel better. But we do that in every relationship, right? Like, ladies, have you ever heard your man tell you that you're the most beautiful woman in the world? Did you ever hear that? Yeah. Well, you know it's not true, right? You're laughing too much at that, sir. I mean, you're really pretty, but come on. You know, like the most beautiful in the world. Like, how would you even know that? You know, like maybe she lives in a cave in Mongolia, but you know. Besides, if she was the most beautiful woman in the world, she would not be with you. Just be honest, you know? We have such a hard time being honest. Tell her the truth. Tell her you're the most beautiful woman that I have ever seen. That's genuine. Have you seen Halle Berry? She's still hot, right? So tell her you're the most beautiful woman I've ever seen, excluding celebrities. It's honest. It's honest. Are you on social media? No, good. Thank God, man, or else you'd have to be like excluding celebrities and Facebook babes and Instagram and TikTok babes and it would just drag on forever. But you could tighten it, you could shorten it, and still be honest and tell her you're the most beautiful woman that I can afford. And that's the truth. That is the truth. How about you guys? How long have you been together? You've been together 16 years. 16 months. I love how this dude brought the jokes. That was quick. Well, we were discussing years. 16 months, that's cool. That's still cute that you're counting months. Do you love him? You truly love him? Genuinely love him? And I ask you that because I don't think it's possible to truly love someone in a romantic relationship. I think we experience glimpses of true love. But generally speaking, I think we are way too selfish to truly love someone. And I tell you this because I once had a teacher of mine give me the most beautiful definition of genuine love I've ever heard. He said, true love is the ability to wish nothing but your partner's happiness. You agree? Disagree? Yeah? So, what's your name? Uni. So, what would you say if it would make your man truly happy? Like truly happy to sleep with every woman in here, but truly happy, like truly, genuinely, like. Would you be okay with it? You'd be okay with it? Yo! That's why he's counting the months. That's a cute name. Uni? What does that mean? It means dove. Like a dove. Oh, okay. In what language is that? Is that Serbian? No. No? Well, Croatian? Nope. Romanian? Armenian? Very close. Now you're gonna test my geography. Is that Japanese? Sounds very Japanese. Arigato, Yuni. Nihongo ga wakarimasu ka? Skoshi, Yuni. What's good material? Oh, okay. Thank you. I'm glad that I have entertained you, Uni. That's what I love about Montreal. You know what? It is a true melting pot. It really is a melting pot. You know, the United States pretends to be a melting pot, but it's not. It is so segregated. It is deeply, deeply segregated. It's a lot like a fridge, you know? As soon as you open the fridge, there's a whole hierarchy in the fridge, you know? You got the butter on top. The butter represents the 1%. The butter is the only one that owns an apartment in the fridge. Standing up high like a judge, you know, big fat judge, just judging everyone. Hey, broccoli, asparagus, you ain't nothing without me. And every judge needs a jury, right? A dozen eggs. They're sitting comfortably in their little cushy seats. I feel like that whole door is a judicial system, right? The condiments are the inmates. The cons. They're all stuck together like an overcrowded jail cell in Tijuana. Excuse me, permiso, puedo pasar? Ay, gracias, hijo. Some of them have a life sentence. Like a relish and capers. Worcestershire is the Worcestershire. Dijon's been there since 1984. I'm never getting out of here. I feel like the leftovers are the homeless of the fridge. You know, they sleep in a box, and after a while, you forget they're there, and they start to smell funky. The rotten vegetables, that's the senior citizens, right? They're all weak and wilted. Put me in a soup! I feel like the fresh organic vegetables, that's Generation Z. Like, look at me, I'm so fresh and crispy. Instagram me. You should hang out with your grandmother in the back of the crisper. She's gross, just put her in a soup. And what do you got in the back of the fridge? Baking soda. That's the government. That's Big Brother watching everyone with that little flap open. I see you. I see everyone. It's been there forever and does absolutely nothing. Nothing. And on top of the fridge, what do you got? The freezer. That's Canada. The freezer takes in everything. The leftovers, the raw vegetables, the meats, the batteries. Let's go, let's go, let's go. You're refugees now. Placenta, get in here. And I know that some of you are thinking, my freezer's at the bottom. It's not on top. And that is the problem with global warming. Can I share a story with you guys? Yes. Yeah. I've been dreading to pick up my son in school because there was this little kid in his class called Hugh. And every time he would see me, he would grab my dick. And I would hate it. Like I wanted to punch the kid. I wanted to, but I can't do anything. I can't do anything. He's a little child. He's like a reverse child molester. He's like a man molester. Or literally a child molester. And I really wanted to tell his dad about it, but I'm so afraid. He was like, and you waited 3 months to tell me this? So I was like, I gotta confront Hugh. So Hugh is the last kid to get picked up 6 p.m. I show up at 5:55. My hands are sweating. My heart's racing. I brought a whistle just in case. And I walk into the classroom and Hugh is nowhere in sight. And I was relieved. I was like, Hugh. I tell my boy, all right, put your kicks on. I'm gonna run to the bathroom. And I walk in the bathroom and there's Hugh. Sitting on the toilet seat. And the seats are very low, yet I felt as though he was in a position of power. And he throws me a little smirk, as to say, what a pleasant surprise. And there I am, face to face with my aggressor. And he grabs a piece of toilet tissue, he rips it, and he goes, wipe me. Wipe me. And he wasn't asking, he was telling me, wipe me. So I did what any good parent would do. I just bolted, right? Because, could you imagine his dad walks in, I'm wiping his ass, he's grabbing my dick. It would be a catastrophe. So I was like, you know what? The following day, I'm going to tell the director everything. I'm going to tell her everything. Dick grabbing, ass wiping. And she said, I will handle it. And she did. And it never happened again. 1 week later, after opening up with my own story, I find out that 7 other fathers came forward with the same story. It's like I started my own movement. A revolution, #MeHugh. It's nuts having kids, Sex really slows down when you have kids. I thought that was a myth. I thought that would never happen to us. But it did. It took us 5 months before starting to have sex after my first one was born. 5 months, dude. 5 months. But when it happened, it was bananas. And I remember like it was yesterday. It was a hot summer day. My wife, my baby, and we all fell asleep naked in bed. And I woke up and I saw my wife's face and she looked like an angel. And next thing you know, we're having this euphoric mind-body experience, which lasted like 2 minutes. because my baby woke up. She said, oh shit, I gotta feed the baby. I was like, no, you gotta feed me now. She's like, no, I gotta feed him or he won't stop crying. I was like, no, this is our moment. This is 5 months. She said, I just can't. So she takes the baby and she starts breastfeeding him while we're having sex. And it was manageable. Until he made eye contact with me. That was weird, because he was frowning. He's like, And I didn't even stop. I just put a pillow over his face. I'm like, That's when I realized, holy shit, I'm having a threesome with my baby. And that's not even the worst part. While he was getting breastfed, I latched onto the other nipple. It's like we were competing to see who could suck out the most milk, brother. And technically, it's the first time I ever had a drink with my son. Well, who knows, right? Who knows? Maybe one day he's gonna get married. Cold feet. He'll open up to me. He'll be like, you know what, Dad? I got shit to live, man. Never even had a threesome. And I'll be holding a glass of scotch. Have a seat, my son. Thank you so much, guys. Thank you, Montreal. Love you. Thank you.
Please, one more time for Daniel Tirado.